of the bare, windowless room, watching through slightly hooded eyes. It felt to Stone like he was in a scene from a movie, that he was being questioned by Peter Lorre while Humphrey Bogart looked on inscrutably, keeping his own counsel. "You are travelling to Berlin in the hope of meeting up with your brother's widow." This was the second time the shorter man, Peter Lorre, had asked this question. Or was it a statement? It was certainly true, but how did they know? They had read Dagmar's letter, obviously. "Presumed widow," Stone replied, evading the question. A lifetime's experience had taught him that it was usually wise to withhold any information from the authorities until forced to divulge it. "You don't think your brother's dead?" "There has never been any actual proof of it." "You mean a corpse?" "I suppose so." "Your brother is certainly presumed dead," Lorre replied, finally capitulating to the biscuit plate and choosing a shortbread finger. "Killed by the Russians during the battle for Moscow in 1941. "That is what I was told," Stone said. "After the war, by the East German authorities." "Have you any reason to doubt it?" "No, none at all. I've always hoped, that's all. My brother generally had a plan. He would have been a hard man to kill." "The Waffen-SS tended to be made up of hard men to kill, at least until they started recruiting boys. Your brother joined in 1940, didn't he?" Was there a hint of a sneer? Stone felt his anger rising. What right did this smug little man, munching on his shortbread finger, have to judge? He hadn't been where his brother had been, where his mother and father had been, and Dagmar. Again, the guilt. Survivor guilt, the shrinks called it. "My brother wasn't a Nazi," Stone stated firmly. "Of course he wasn't," Peter Lorre replied, and now the sneer was unmistakable. "None of them were Nazis, were they? Or so they all claim now. And the Waffen-SS wasn't really proper SS anyway, was it? They never ran the camps. You can't blame them." "My brother was married to a Jew," Stone said. "Yes, we know. Dagmar Stengel, née Fischer, you are travelling to Berlin to meet her. Is that not the case?" Stone stared at the cups and saucers once more. He didn't like telling them his business, but it was clearly a rhetorical question, and he didn't want to be caught in a lie. "Yes. Dagmar Fischer," he admitted. "Dagmar Stengel." "I knew her as Dagmar Fischer. She married my brother after I left Germany." "When did you last see Mrs. Stengel?" Stone drew deeply on his cigarette and closed his eyes. How often had he relived that moment? The whistling and shunting of the trains, the smell of her hair, the martial music on the loudspeakers that made it so hard to whisper the things he needed to say. "In 1939, he answered. "In Berlin?" "Yes, in Berlin." "And after the war, did you try to find her?" "Of course. I tried to find all my family." "You were in Germany?" "Yes, with the army. I worked in the displaced persons camps with the UN Relief and Rehabilitation Administration. You know all this. It's in my records." "So," Peter Lorre observed through a mouth filled with biscuit, "well placed to look for an elusive Jewess." Elusive Jewess. Such a phrase. The little man clearly had no idea of the casual contempt and innate suspicion contained within it. "An elusive Jewess," Stone repeated. "What the hell do you mean by that?" "I mean Frau Stengel, of course." "Then bloody well say so." There was a moment's silence. "Frau Stengel, then?" Lorre resumed. "You didn't find her?" "No." "What happened to her?" "I never found out." "One more anonymous victim of the Holocaust?" "I presumed so." But now you think she survived? Stone paused for a moment, considering his reply. I have recently allowed myself to hope that she did. And why would that be? Stone was trying very hard not to become angry. Getting angry never helped. Not with the sort of people who sat behind green Hessian-covered tables with cups of tea and empty yellow notepads.